Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we completed another scenario by this guy named Smoo. A simple one, which involved having to get all our weapons back. Not too bad, actually. Clever in that we were weaker, but several times the weapons we had weren't as good as the weapons we found that everyone is dropping. So we even got some improvement out of it. Now, however, it's time to move on to another scenario by this guy. This one is Korhog Pass. Nature imposes a detour on your travels. Time is not always your friend. Some jobs can take weeks, even months to see through. Others barely last one whole day. Then there's the time between jobs. Time spent either relaxing or looking for more work. You'd recently finished a simple task in southern Valorum. The pay barely covered your expenses, so you were forced to hunt for more income. A fellow adventurer you happened to come across hinted that there is an interesting job offer in Sharamik. Several leagues separated you from the town, so you set off. Your journey proved uneventful until you reached the Green River. The spring flooding had washed away the bridge. The swollen river was far too rapid to simply wade over. Fortunately, you remembered another crossing point further north near the hovel town of Paston. Hoping to reach the city before nightfall, you set a hard pace towards it. A storm that broke in the middle of your journey foiled that plan. As the sun was setting, a lone rider galloped towards you, nearly running you over. As you muttered a silent curse at the man, what little sun there was faded away. An hour's worth of hike left you alone inside the town gates, drenched to the bone. Weary and cold, you bought a room at the inn and decided to continue your journey come morning. Alright then. Let's give this a go. The trapdoor into the cellar is locked with a heavy padlock, the tricky kind that would take some time to unlock. Theoretically, you could try to open the door, but if you got caught, you would soon be run out of town for certain. It is best not to bother with it for now. There's probably nothing special in the cellars anyway. Yeah, I suppose. Having assured yourself that you have indeed woken up, you give your muscles a final stretching and head out from your room. The beds were truly uncomfortable, not that it mattered much when you fell onto them last night. A window in the hallway lets in a tiny ray of sunlight, which promptly vanishes. You move to the window and gaze at the town of Paston outside. The ground is still moist from the thunderstorm of yesterday. Clouds blanket the sky, but here and there a touch of blue winks at you from beneath their gray shroud. There's little to no movement on the streets. It seems that you have stumbled upon a common sleepy backwater. Still, you have a strange feeling about Paston. It's perhaps a bit too quiet. Something peculiar is going on here. Really now. Curious. Ooh, curing potion. Random, but okay. Earrings, I guess I can sell those. And a regular cloak, don't need that. You step into the empty common room of the inn. It is in reasonable shape, although the wooden floor does contain some traces of mud from yesterday, but the inn is completely deserted. No one occupies the three various-sized tables in the room. There's nobody by the counter, either. In fact, only a tired-looking bartender is present, leaning on the counter. No, he's not tired. He's drunk. When he notices you, he grabs the wine jug on the counter and takes a swig. Due to the unnatural quiet of the inn, you can hear that the jug is almost empty. The bartender's not only drunk, he's drunk off his ass. That's curious and concerning. You see a very tired barman leaning on the counter. The reason for his tired state is obvious. He's drunk. Very drunk. His bloodshot eyes are open only in the narrowest of slits. Even though he supports himself on the counter, he still manages to sway a little. It's a small miracle that he is even conscious at this stage. He does not react to your presence in any noticeable way. It is always this quiet here? The man blinks with the power of a sloth. His eyes look up and glance at you for a fraction of a second. His head turns to the floor and he does not utter a word. Are you alright? The man grunts a syllable that might have been an ugh. His mumbling is not coherent enough to tell. Could we have something to eat or drink? The man looks at his wine jug, blinks, and lifts it to his lips. You can hear him swallowing a large amount of wine. He looks at the jug in disgust and hurls it against the wall where it shatters into a million little pieces. It's as if you do not exist. Fine, let's not talk about anything. You turn your back to the bartender. He has obviously had one chug of wine too many, But as you're about to step away from him, he suddenly decides to speak, if a barely comprehensible mumbling can be accounted as speech.
What's the point of speaking? I'll be dead soon enough anyway.
What? What do you mean we'll all be dead? A sound like a mixture of laughter and weeping emits from the bartender. His eyes are firmly fixed on a certain point of the counter.
You don't know. You'll find out soon enough.
He makes another sound, this time more like laughter.
I should have left right away. But no. And to damn well keep the inn running. Mustn't stop the flow of money. To hell with that. I'm leaving right now.
With the help of his arms, the man pushes himself upright. However, he does not remain so for long. He walks backwards into a wall and slowly slides down into a sitting position.
Maybe I'll sleep for a bit first.
He mumbles and closes his eyes. Soon the only sound in the inn is the snoring of its owner. Huh. The bartender is busy sleeping away his intoxication. Might take a while. That's very curious. And concerning. Gonna look around at the guards first. Okay, the guards aren't gonna say anything. That's way off the top. Who's this? Priest? This must be what Paston has to offer in terms of a temple. The stairs ascend to a small platform in the middle of which a marble altar stands. A man dressed in a white robe stands at the east edge of the platform, his back facing you. His head is shaved bald and there are liver spots on his temples. He turns with dignity to face you. The bright light of fanaticism shines in his eyes. Greetings and God's blessings on this fateful day. I am Ereleno, the priest. Have you come to repent your sins in front of God's grace? The priest blinks as if seeing you for the first time. No, I doubt you have. You are not God's children, am I correct? Which God do you mean? Ereleno's eyes fill with contempt. He draws a strange symbol in the air with his right hand. There is only one God. He enunciates the words with a clear, low voice. The other so-called religions are no more than cults. They worship demons and, at best, spirits. Only we worship the Creator and the one true God of mankind. So who is your God? The priest raises his right hand as if to ward off your words. Names have power. This is why only true believers may know the name of God. We call ourselves the Church of God. Usually one can only become a child of God by being born into a family of believers. But on rare occasions we do adopt outsiders into our flock, though the criteria they must meet are extremely strict. Is this your church? We do not need churches or temples or any of those gaudy structures designed to cloud the mind and mislead the ignorant. God is everywhere. Wherever his children may roam, he has walked 1,000 times before. Thus, everywhere is a place of worship for him. The priest points at the simple marble altar. We need an altar, yes, but only for the most divine rituals, and only as a tool to help focus when working up the power of God in priestly rituals. But even the altar is not essential. The most powerful of us can focus using a holy symbol, or even an ordinary hammer. That is all that is truly needed to witness the might of God. We need no false splendor. I have no time for infidels, only those walking in the grace of God deserve my notice. Well, what is it? Does everyone in Korhog Pass worship the same God? A considerable portion of our population lives in God's grace. Only a few miserable souls walk in the lie. The priest gestures at one of the tents near the north gate with a sour expression. To make matters worse, the Empire has also posted an infidel mayor to govern us. Fortunately, she does not interfere in our affairs much, and we may live as we please. The soldiers are a different matter, then. Only 1/3 of them walk the righteous path. This is naturally due to the fact that most of them are out-of-towners. Areleno grins viciously like what he is about to say is incredibly amusing. Or perhaps I should say, Most of them were out-of-towners. Maybe God sent the ogres to weed out the unbelievers in the army. As things stand, only 2 of the surviving soldiers are heathens. Unfortunately, one of them is Corporal Corso. What do you know about the ogres? Areleno shrugs. Right now, all I can say is that they are harbingers of God's wrath. They appeared 2 days ago to terrorize the people in the north part of the pass. Even though the monsters slaughtered some families of believers, the focus of their anger was not God's children. For when the soldiers arrived to dispatch them, a whole swarm of the beasts took advantage of the situation. Areleno beams in pleasure. They destroyed the fort of the infidel soldiers, and then they attacked the trade post of the godless Yelbro merchants. Are you seriously gloating over the deaths of those trying to protect you? Only God protects his people. Only God's will shall decide the fates of men. Yes, I am glad that the heathen soldiers have perished. However, the deaths of the few believers do sadden me. Be that as it may, it is not for mere mortals to question God's divine plan. He will keep those true to him safe, of that I am certain. Can you heal wounds? Yes, as a messenger of God's will, it is my duty to heal the wounded and the sick, even infidels, for God's mercy does touch them too from time to time. Are you in need of healing? For infidels, it will cost 200 gold. Were you a believer, you would naturally not need to pay. In a way, some good does come with dealing with infidels. The church gets richer. Hold on, you only get money from infidels? Of course not. It is in the best interest of the believers to provide for the priests of God. We are the shepherds who lead their souls into the afterlife. We cannot obviously do the job properly were we to live in poverty. Or in worst case, were we to starve. No, the infidels only provide an additional income to the church. A sizable income at that. May we still talk some more? Can you teach me priest spells? I am willing to teach you ordinary rituals, but I will not teach you any of God's most powerful rituals. Nothing we can improve, really. Well, except repel spirit and war blessing, which why not? There we go. Alright. Ahead of you is the north gate of Paston. 2 Empire soldiers are standing guard by the gate. Actually, gate is not a very accurate description of the hole in the wall, for it does not have an actual gate. A few archers stand on the town walls, their eyes not straying from the north. 3 tents have been set up in the vicinity of the gate. They must be merchants' tents. Practically no one is smiling. We'll investigate the north gate in a bit. First, just want to uncover the rest of this. Yeah, there's only a north gate. Oh, they are merchants' tents. Literally. Are the guards speakable? This soldier is nervous. It practically flows off him. His fingers periodically move to fondle the pommel of his sword, which looks like an average iron sword. His armor is also of medium quality. You try to talk to the soldier a bit, but alas, the soldier does not want to talk to you. Alright, let's try the merchants here. It is not hard to determine the mood of this man. The corners of his mouth have taken a sharp turn downwards. His eyebrows have also dropped low to shadow his eyes, and he has crossed his arms on his chest. He looks at you balefully for a moment before speaking. Morning. I am Seppo, and I can say that if your plan is to head north, then you better buy something from me. This ogre attack has caused a huge spike on my sales. What do you know about these ogres? What's there to know? They're all savages. They'll smash in a child's skull and drink out the brain. They are nothing but bloodthirsty animals. You ask me, then the Empire is right to want to kill off those kinds of creatures. Does not God say that all animals mimicking man should be destroyed swiftly and without mercy? The preceding was not a question. I haven't seen a forge in Paston. Where do you get your wares? I have this deal with the Yelbro merchants. They transport wares to me to sell from Farport up north, and I sell them here in Paston. It's not like I sell anything every day, or even every week, but I've always got by. God takes care of his own. Right now, due to the ogres, everyone has wanted to buy a dagger of some sort. In fact, I think I might be fresh out of them. Well, if you come to buy something, or are you only here to flap your lips? Sure, what have you got? Fair bit of stuff. Nothing we need to buy, though. Maybe you found something useful, maybe you didn't. How about you? You stare at the man in front of you. You look around. Apparently you found the odd man out. Until now, the inhabitants and soldiers of Paston have looked melancholic, and you have barely seen a smile. This man is smiling. He's smiling broadly. In fact, his grin appears to have frozen on his face. Your gazes meet in a duel. 10 seconds of utter silence pass before he speaks. Hello! Even his voice is cheery. My name is Nuolo, and I sell bows, crossbows, and ammo for both plus javelins. If you're northbound, I suggest you buy some of my wares. Why on earth are you smiling all the time? Nuolo's smile gets even broader. His eyes shine with amusement. In a couple of days, we're all going to die! You wait for his expression to reveal that he is joking. Nothing happens. Nuolo notices your confusion and explains. I'm a Verdist. We believe in reincarnation. His grinning face surveys his surroundings. Any place is better than this one. Wait a minute, do all in Paston think like that? No one else is smiling. Oh no! Nuolo shakes his head and his smile dies down. Everyone in Paston and in Korhag Pass are Danotists. Well, almost everyone. We few crazy people who can put up with their shit. We're mindless beasts. Stick around just to annoy them. Whether they like it or not, we stay right here. To be honest, I'm not sure if we are very stubborn or just very stupid. Either way, you'll all burn in hell. You turn around to see who shouted that and notice that it... Oh, wait. Let me start over again. Oh no! Nuolo shakes his head and his smile dies down. Everyone in Paston and in Korhag Pass are Danotists. Well, almost everyone. We few crazy people who can put up with their shit, we mindless beasts, stick around just to annoy them. Whether they like it or not, we stay right here. To be honest, I'm not sure if we are very stubborn or just very stupid. Either way, you'll all burn in hell. You turn around to see who shouted that and notice that it was the woman in the tent opposite of Nuolo's. Her eyes are sharp daggers. You turn back to face Nuolo. His smile has reappeared. Now, wasn't that just beautiful? Danotists? I don't think I've ever heard of them. In that case, you have been extremely fortunate, or maybe I've just been unfortunate. Either way. Nuolo shrugs. You notice that when he talks about Danotists, he's not smiling. They are the most narrow-minded and unfriendly religion I've ever come across. They think they are the only true religion in the world that worships the one true God. But if you want to learn more about their dogma, go speak to Urelno. He points through his tent to the east. There's some kind of platform that way. I won't waste my time talking about their garbage, but I will say a few words about how they treat other religions. If at all possible, meaning if the Empire didn't prevent it, they'd kill everyone who worships a different god. This is not just hot air. There's been a few accidents, even in Korhag. A few months ago, a priest of eternal tranquility came to Paston. Nuolo shakes his head in disgust. I saw his corpse, and it was no accident, but the Empire did not do anything about it. What exactly happened to the priest? Nuolo glances around nervously. Actually, it's not smart for me to talk about this. Suddenly he straightens up and his mouth forms into another wide grin. But if I'm to die soon anyway, then why not? The Tranquility Priest came to Paston and went to dine at the inn. I wasn't there at the time, so I'm not really sure what happened, but someone beat the priest up pretty bad. He staggered out of the north gate. The following morning he was found dead by the door of the Yelbro trade post. He was stabbed repeatedly in the chest and stomach, but none of the Danotists admit to doing anything. Poor man. No one deserves to go like that. Okay. Couldn't you just leave Korhag Pass since you obviously don't like it here? I could. I very well could. Apparently that is all he has to say on the matter. You must mean the ogres, but isn't that a very pessimistic way of thinking? Pessimistic? Maybe it is, but like my dear late mother used to say, death should not be feared, for it is only the gate into the next life. If you get right down to it, then it really doesn't matter how we end this life. The great circle of life will continue to turn no matter what we do. Personally, I think the Veridian way of thinking is very optimistic. It certainly gives me strength. As if for emphasis, Nuolo's smile gets a bit broader. Say, do you know anyone who could help me identify my unknown items? Yes, I do know someone who could help you with that. I happen to know him immediately. It's me! Just give me 2 gold for every item you want identified, and we're good. I'm here to shop. Ah, right. He sells, archery weapons. Nothing I need to buy, though. Well, he's cheery, at least. This woman in her early 30s or late 20s glares at you in open warfare. Her big blue eyes are perfect for the job. Without their impact, the hostility of this short, skinny woman would only be hilarious. What do you want? She spits out her words and afterwards actually spits at your feet. If you want potions, then you can buy some from me. Otherwise, I have no time for infidels. You asked her name. It is Jane. Do you make these potions yourself? Jane's eyes form into a baleful glare. After a few seconds of silence, she produces a clipped answer. Yes, I have all the equipment I need in my home outside of town. Herbs don't grow well in Carhog Pass. That's why I'm forced to deal with the godless Yelbro merchants to get my herbs. I managed fine, though. Could you teach me potion recipes? Absolutely not! The day I start passing on my knowledge to infidels will be the day I... The answer is no, I won't be teaching you anything. What is it now? What's with all the hostility? You have to ask. You are godless, bottom-feeding scum. You roam the world, spreading all your insane lies and horrid stench. You cannot act as is befit for a sentient, but that is no surprise, as you are all half-wits and imbeciles. And you can't possibly profess innocence on what has happened to our peaceful town. Your godless ways have brought the wrath of God down upon us. He has sent ogres to devour us for allowing the infidels to live here unmolested. Oh, God's wrath is just, but I fear he has targeted it wrongly. May he forgive my blasphemy. We didn't bring the ogres here. That's the kind of nonsense a child would not believe. Bad things are always the consequences of sins, and you infidels are sinners to the bone. I've always thought that we used to treat your kind properly before, but the Empire put a stop to that. Well, we're all paying for the consequences for that decision now. Healing elixirs and energy potions. Those are actually very useful. I think that's good. Okay. Away with the hostile merchants. I have a feeling we're not going to get much pleasantry around here. It's a very hostile place. Looks like that's about all there is outside, more or less. What's in these two buildings? Skill too low. Skill too low! Need more tool use. That's regular. Plus 2 levels of tool use, plus 1... We need 1 more level of tool use! Ah! Sucks. These two townsmen are involved in a heated dialogue. Upon closer investigation, you discover that it is actually more like a monologue. The other man is mostly silent, participating in the conversation with a nod and a uh-huh now and then. This man, on the other hand, seems to suffer from a bad case of verbal diarrhea. Words simply pour out of his mouth at a pace that is hard to decode into something comprehensible. The words repeated in his stream of verbalization are bad, gosh, and ogre. Excuse me, what are you talking about? Gosh, I did not see you there. I was just talking to my friend here about the bad situation here. Hey, now, you're not from here. You come from those godless lands. Gosh, I guess it doesn't matter in a situation like this. I mean, things have gotten pretty bad in Carhog Pass, and that's putting it lightly. Oh, right, you've probably not heard of it. The whole pass is full of ogres now. Nasty creatures in my mind. Complete savages. We hear some stories, all right. Gosh darn it. My name is George, by the way. Ogres. You have ogres. Darn straight we do, though they weren't here a week ago, or if they were playing hide and seek. Now, things have gotten bad, but I'm not one to worry too much. Situations like this, why we've been allowed godless soldiers in Paston. That's right, the ogres don't worry me much, even though things are bad, God will look after his own. George fidgets uncertainly. Well, that's what I hope, at least. That's a bad problem on its own. See, I have this friend, Jarmo. He has a sheep farm in the north. Or, I mean, he used to have a farm there, or, I mean, I don't know what's happened to him. The soldier said the ogres have attacked homes up north. I have no clue what's come of him. I could look for Jarmo. Where'd you say his home was? Oh, you could? Gosh, that's mighty kind of you. I don't even dare to step outside the city walls. Things are that bad, I mean. I'd be truly grateful if you could look for Jarmo. I doubt anything bad's truly happened to him. I hope. Oh, gosh darn it. It's hard to know what to think anymore. Oh, but Jarmo's home is up north near the exit of the pass. It's on the high ground there. It was... Oh, darn it all. Where'd you say Jarmo's home was? Oh, it's up north. That's right. It's near the north exit of the pass. That's where his sheep graze. Not interested, which is why you move on. Okay, moving on. Ooh, some copper coins. Nobody saw anything. Couple homes in here. Pants, sandals, trash. copper coins. And nothing else of use. Alright. The barracks. You step inside the barracks of Paston. The wooden building looked to be in good shape from the outside. From the inside, military discipline has kept the corners clean, and this should be true for the beds. There are 9 bunks, but only the minority of them are made in the proper military fashion. Most of the beds have not been made at all. They've been slept in and left the way they were when whoever slept in them woke up. Huh. Hold on, I think I can take this stuff. Don't need the first... well... yeah, grab the first aid kit. Nobody sees a thing. Iron short sword, sure, we can sell it. Iron bucklers, nah, don't need that. Alright then. Looks like there is indeed a soldier in the barracks, although you cannot say that his bearing is exactly military. He is a mountain of a man, but you can see from his face that he is worried, perhaps even scared. His shirt is dirty, his breastplate is poorly attached. On his sleeves you see the insignia of a corporal. He blinks wearily as he notices you and barely avoids saluting you. What? Who are you, He hawks thunderously and tries to take the situation back into control. I'm Corporal Corso. I'm, temporarily in charge of the Paston garrison. What business do you have in our barracks? You are temporarily in charge of the Paston garrison? Where's your commanding officer? I don't know. I really don't know. He left the day before yesterday to make war, and I haven't heard a word from him since... No, that's not true. There was a messenger, and... I'm afraid that he is dead, and all the men who were with him are too. Which would mean that I am responsible for the defense of Paston and all the soldiers in Quahog Pass. I can't do this! The corporal of the Imperial Army finally realizes what he's doing. He tries to recollect his thoughts. He looks at you squarely in the eye. Well, you heard all of that. I guess that's about as much as I should have said. What is your opinion on the situation in Paston? I'm not sure if I should be talking to you at all. Maybe you should see the mayor first. Pardon that, someone texted me just a moment ago. Anyway, only one building left here. Oh, that points to the inn. And this is the Paston Town Hall. Well, you know what? I'm going to end this episode here, because, time-wise it's gone on about long enough. We could talk to the mayor first, but we're probably going to have... it might take a bit, so we'll do that in the next episode. Till then, I'm Chester44, that is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.